Joining me now from our bureau in Washington, D.C., Executive Director and General Counsel at the Immigration Reform Law Institute, Dale Wilcox. Dale, we heard the president talk about building the wall, of course. We heard the president refer to MS-13, the scourge, unfortunately, that's unfolding in this country because they have been allowed to cross the border because of our porous border. However, we didn't hear a lot about deport. And the plan that he's been talking about, alluding to via Twitter. In your mind, what does a plan like this look like? Is it a partnership between ICE and local law enforcement, non-sanctuary city law enforcement, that will weed out these people in our society who are here illegally and have been ordered by the court to be deported and thus get them out of here once and for all?
Well, that's absolutely what it is. The president has proposed to use ICE to find those people who have received their due process. They've received their day in court, or they didn't bother showing up to court, and a judge ordered them to be removed in their absence. So these people have received due process. ICE, the president is going to use ICE to go out there and find these individuals. As of June of last year, there were 2.5 million aliens out there who have been ordered removed from this country, 1.7 million of which were Mexican and individuals from the Northern Triangle countries coming across our porous border. The president has finally had enough and said, we are going to send a message to the world. If you come into this country unlawfully, you will be put in removal proceedings. We will find you and you will be removed.
And we should point out that this is not what President Eisenhower did in 1954, Operation Wetback, and this was a sweep in 1954 where they started in Northern California. They started actually in the Pacific Northwest, the border agents, and they swept down into the South, into California, and then into Arizona, ended up in Texas. A fascinating thing happened during Operation Wetback, and that is they estimate somewhere in the neighborhood of 500,000, maybe even more, possibly 1 million, self-deported because they knew that the agents were after them. And the reason why I bring this up is because, number one, the president is not doing this. He's going after people who have been adjudicated already in court. And number two, go ahead.
You're absolutely right. That's his plan. There is no big deportation force out there looking for all illegal aliens. We're talking about people who have gotten caught up in the system. Maybe they've committed crimes. They've been ordered by a court out of the country. They have had their hearing, their due process. That is who the president's looking to remove from the country. I mean, if our immigration system is to have any integrity at all, the president has to enforce these removal orders. Otherwise, it's just a big open door to the rest of the world. Come on in. We'll never look for you. You'll never be removed.
And it's a matter of national security. And the president reiterating the fact that it's a matter of national security via Twitter today. He says the Democrat agenda of open borders is morally reprehensible. He goes on to say that not one Democrat candidate for president, not a single one, has stood up to defend the incredible men and women of ICE and Border Patrol. This is true. But one of the reasons I was bringing up Operation Wetback in 1954 is, you know, an effort like this sends a message, not only through illegal immigrants in this country right now, whether they've been adjudicated in court or not. It sends a message to them right now. It also sends a message to would-be illegal immigrants south of the border that, hey, we have a president who's serious about this, and they better think twice about violating our sovereignty.
Yes, we absolutely have a crisis on our southern border. Last month alone, 144,000 people were apprehended by Border Patrol at the border. The month before that, 109,000. The month before that, 103,000. We're looking at adding 1.5 million people by the end of the year. We're breaking records. It's got to stop, and the president has to take a strong stand. And this is one avenue he can take, legal avenue. Under the law, he has the authority to do this. Any alien who overstays a visa or illegally crosses our border is subject to removal.
Right.
So this sends a signal to the rest of the world, we're not going to put up with this. It's unfair to American workers to compete with people who should not be in the workforce. It's unfair to taxpayers who are picking up the bill for these individuals who are coming across the border. The president has to do something. I'm glad to see that he's ordering ICE to execute on these removal orders.
It's unfair to our civil society. It's unfair to the rule of law. No country can sustain this attack. 1.5 million illegals. You can't absorb that. In the end, we the people are going to pay for it, either through taxes or loss of liberty in our constitutional republic. Dale, thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.